Hi, this is Cliff, the Trading at Work guy. This is episode 4 of my journey into trading, the extended edition. I left the radio show I'd been on for more than a decade and a half in my late 50s, and after completing a full year with the company where I work now, I was told I was eligible for a full bonus. And when the check was delivered by FedEx, I was flabbergasted. It was basically a full month's pay. Among the things I decided to do with the newfound money was to start working on what I was going to do in retirement. Now, I'll be honest, I've always been a live in the moment kind of guy, and a series of life decisions had left me with little in the way of a retirement account. Part of that live in a moment lifestyle, by the way, was to take a job on the radio in a small town. It was an absolute blast to do, but it had an income of not far over the poverty level. Did a bit of research and decided that after paying off a credit card, the rest of that bonus was going to be used to find out more about trading. At the time, of course, I had no idea that road would take me here, where I am today. I knew nothing about prop firms or being a retail trader. I'd seen charts before, but didn't understand anything about the analysis of them. What I believed, though, was it was something that I could figure out, because I've always been a figure it out kind of guy. A bit more research told me that income from trading counts to Social Security as investment income and is therefore free of any limitations that may exist as to working while receiving Social Security benefits. So I started doing some studying and found out about the limitations in place at the time for trading stocks, and found out about software and as much of the jargon as I could understand. I still struggle with that, by the way, calling things the correct name, but I understand what it means to have a limit order or a market order or a stop loss. I found out about paper trading, and then I was introduced to prop firms and went through 3 or 4 of those before I got to Tradeify. And I went through 3 or 4 different mentors, paying some or watching free material from others before finding the Peachy Group. What I found there was real, continuously evolving material to help me figure it out without the swagger and bravado that seems to be prevalent in some of the trading communities. I have to pause for just a moment and tell you a bit of a side story. One of the podcasts that I picked up on during that time was a guy who said this: in order to be successful in investing, you have to dump the worker bee mindset and get yourself a millionaire mindset. I understand now that he just said what he meant poorly. At the time, it really irked me because I have to scrub my hands clean before I leave work every day. Technically, I'm a worker bee. And I used to work for a guy at an aircraft interior shop back in Texas who used the phrase in a demeaning way. The labor of the people on the shop floor put money in that dude's pockets. He called them just worker bees. What I think the podcast guy meant when he said worker bees is what I now call a traditional work ethic: work harder, make more. The millionaire mindset is, in investing and trading, when you trade harder, you actually lose more. But at the time, it just left me with a bad taste in my mouth. So, over the course of the past 2.5 years, I've tried and failed in a lot of different ways, all in practice mode. I've tried trading software that I ended up not liking, prop firms that I couldn't understand the rules of, and mentors who couldn't speak a lingo that I could get. And all the while, not realizing the real problem was my inability to get up and walk away, leaving the charge to come back when things were moving in my favor, not making trades that were never going to work, and giving back what income I had made. I'm still working to overcome those challenges, but for the much simpler technical part, I'll tell you this. My prop firm is Tradeify, my trading software is TradingView, and I'm still learning with peachy investors. There's a million ways to trade and a million ways to be successful, and those are the tools I've decided to use. In the next episode, we'll get more info on the tools and see how they work.